about my background or my country. I have taught my child to embrace her Mexican heritage, to love my first language, Spanish, to learn about Mexican history, music, food, folk art, and even the candy I grew up with. This was said by Salma Hayek, and I am saying this because a lot of us don't know much about our culture, and an important part of it is the China Poblana costume. Ever since before I was even born, my parents were very involved in Mexican folklore dancing. They even traveled the world because of it. And that's why I saw them dancing from a very, very young age, which as a kid made me curious about many things, like the costumes that they wore for the dances. And later on, I did some research from within the folklore group my parents were involved in. What caught my attention the most was the China Poblana costume, especially because it is part of our city's history, and it is something that we have to know as part of our general knowledge. And today I'm going to talk to you about it. The costume has three main parts, which are the braids, the blouse, and the skirt. Let's start with the braids. The woman's hair is split in two parts, forming with each part one braid. They are usually shaped to simulate a crown, as we can see here. It's like a circle. And when they are not, they can be two loose braids on each side of the head, or it can also be one long braid on either side of the head that you want. The braids can also be decorated with colorful ribbons to give the hairstyle more life. Now let's continue with the blouse. It is a white muslin blouse with embroidered flowers on top. We can also see that it has flowers on the back. However, the flowers on the back are not as big and they're not as many as the ones on the front. That is because the purpose of the flowers on the back is to make the blouse not look completely flat and not completely empty. But the flowers that matter are the ones on the front, because these flowers are elusive to our indigenous culture. They can also be decorated with sequin if you want, but it's okay if they are not. And lastly, we have the skirt. It is green with a big red stripe, as we can see, and it also has sequin on it. It also has the eagle of the national emblem, and these colors, the green, the red, and the eagle, were added to the costume once Mexico got its independence. And the eagle is very important because it represents the courage of Mexican people to overcome trouble. So we know that there are many other items of the costume as well, but these three main ones, the braids, the blouse, and the skirt, represent and express a country full of culture and tradition. And the colors of the costume, which are white, green, and red, are meant to express our country's natural diversity. So as we have seen, this costume is very important for us because it's a part of us as Mexicans, and it represents us culturally. And now, hopefully, you know a little more about it, so that next time that you see it,